Okay, so today I'm going to talk about tree climbing. See how she's halfway over? Because she's actually comfortable with it now, and I let her eat grass on the other side, so she doesn't even care. She's standing halfway over it. What some people don't understand is that climbing over a tree is not the easiest thing for a horse. They have to learn how to do it, and they have to learn what to do with their feet. So the reason I do this sending exercise with them is so they have no one on their back when they're learning to climb over trees. So I want you to think, if you had to, look, see how comfortable she is? The rope's around her legs. She doesn't even care, but let me get it unwrapped. Okay, so I want you to think you're learning to walk up hills. You've never walked up hills in your life, okay? Now, would it be easier to walk up the hill with just you, so you could use your hands and legs and lean over and do what you have to do? Or would it be easier if I put somebody on your back who's totally unbalanced and keeps moving around as you're trying to walk up the hill? No, it would be much easier if you were by yourself, because you're trying to get your own balance. So it's hard enough to get your own balance versus getting your own balance and then balance the person who's on your back. And again, the horse can't communicate with you like, you're screwing me up, sit still, don't move, can you look up where you're going, because every time you look down it throws off my weight. They can't say that to you. So what they try to do is save your butt, and they scramble, and then sometimes they fall, or they get stuck over the log, or they drag their legs and hurt their stifle or their hock, just because they've never learned to go over it correctly, and then they haven't learned to go over it with you. So that's why it's best for the horse to learn how to do it first, and then learn how to carry your weight. And when you go over things like this, you want to sit very still, look up, and let the horse do its job. That's why we teach them to do their job ahead of time. So then when you get there, you're just trying to stay out of their way, not hurt them. And when you're out on the trail and a tree's falling down, that is not the time to teach your horse to go over logs. You should do that ahead of time. And you might not have logs, but there's rocks, or you could use barrels, just something so your horse learns to be able to pick up its feet. Okay. The other thing I do is, there's a gully down there, so I send the horse up and down the gully so they learn how to go up and down the hill and balance themselves as well. What I see a lot of people doing, even trainers, is when they go up the hill, they just sit there and they sit deep in the saddle and they grab the horn, and the horse has to launch them both up the hill. So if you've noticed, English people will get in their half seat going up and down, going up hills to actually help the horse. So it's much easier if you get off their back, get your weight forward to help them, versus your weight's back and then they have to shove all that weight forward. You can even see a difference when the horse does that, and I'll see if I can find a video. Okay, so just a little insight on helping your horse go over obstacles, trees, bridges, and all those things is let them practice ahead of time. Or when you see them first on trail, say you haven't practiced, get off and walk them over it. Not once, but like 5-6 times back and forth, so the horse actually learns how to do it and gets comfortable with it. Okay, so she's at a much higher part of the log. She chose to do it herself, and she figured out, she goes, I know how to do this now. Look, she's only 14.1. You might not think that's high. Move your head, little girl. But it is. So she's going to be a good climber because she's learning to do it, and every day I take her over something. So she learns what to do with her feet, because again, she had been ridden in the arena, so she had no idea. I also let them step on the rope. People panic with that. I let them step on the rope over and over again, so then the horse figures out, oh, it's my own foot. I have to pick it up to release myself. And of course, I'm always there with them, so I make sure they're safe, or if there's a problem, I can help them. But you want to teach the horse how to get in and out of problems so they don't panic when something happens, and then they save you instead of kill you. But the only way to do that is preparation. And if you've never prepared your horse for these things, then you can't expect them to always do the right thing when they have no idea what the right thing is. Okay, so here's another obstacle. It's a little gully, so most horses would get to this, and a lot of them would want to jump over it, right? Because they're not sure about sticking their feet in those rocks. So we've done this over with her, so let's see how she does. So I want to send her down through these rocks, which is hard to do with one hand. Let's switch hands, girly. Let's pick the rope up. Good girl. So see how careful she is putting her feet in there? And now she doesn't care. It's no rush to get over. She can graze over there because she needs to learn to get in and out of things. So you start with easy and then you make it harder for them so they learn to do harder things. So let's make her go up the hill. Keep going. But see how she's not in any rush to go over it, which is a good thing. So now I'm going to take her up here, which is a little harder and a little bit more of a ditch, if you can see that. Okay, you saw what the gully looked like, so now I'm going to send it back and forth through it. Remember, you want them to look at it. Good. Good job. So there she goes, and then there's a big ditch over here. Let me see if you can see that. Good girl. Easy. Good girl. Easy. Good job. So there, I forgot where I put the camera. I'm letting her graze because I don't want her into the rush to get over the things. At a time when I'm on her back, we won't let her graze. But right now we can because we want to give her something. What's the reason to go slow? Well, one is so she's more sure-footed, but the other thing is so she can carry you slowly over it and you're not worried they're going to get to a rock or ditch and jump over it. Because again, that's what most horses do. And we want to teach them not to do that. So see, you can teach a lot at the same time. So what's the other thing we're doing? We're teaching her ground tie. There's the rope, right? There's no one attached to the end of it. I'm not holding it. I'm over here. So you can see she's in no rush to go anywhere. She thinks this is a good thing being out with me. We get to graze, we do a little obstacle course, then she gets to eat, right? You put incentive in the horse, like you got to work and then you get rewarded. They're like, that's all I got to do, step on some rocks. I'm all for that. That's pretty easy versus, you know, being out in the wild and having mountain lions come after them. So she's now learned to go over gullies, rocks, trees. She's a good tree climber now. And she's ground tying. So it's long enough that I could grab it if she did start to move. But otherwise, she's happy being over there. She doesn't care I'm over here. She's doing awesome. She's going to make a good trail horse because she's had a good start. So here she is climbing up things. Tried to put my camera somewhere, but so here she is going down. That was a little fast. Good girl. Okay, so going down, we want her slow, right? She might have to slide down this. Easy. Good girl. Doesn't look steep, but it actually is. Okay.